I'm walking through my little garden today, and I'm doing a very quick video based on the advice that one of my viewers has requested, which he says he's going to buy a GoPro Hero3 to use as a travel cam. He's going to go do some traveling, and he wants the best video setting that requires the least amount of editing and probably is the best for battery and memory card usage. And so I'm shooting in that mode that I'm going to recommend, which is not one that I shoot in a whole lot. Usually I shoot in with my GoPro Hero3 in either 48 frames per second or 60 frames per second because I move a whole lot. I'll do a lot of driving videos, a lot of action type shots, waterfalls and wilderness stuff where I want to catch everything at kind of a high frame rate so that I don't miss any action. But right now I'm shooting in medium field of view, 1080p at 30 frames per second. I'm just walking around a little bit just so you can see sort of what things will look like if you shoot in that mode. The reason I picked that is this viewer says he doesn't want to do any hardcore editing at all. He just wants to shoot in what will be the easiest, I guess, to go straight to YouTube or to go to a DVD or to a Blu-ray. And so since the frame rate that's preferred for YouTube and for DVDs right now would be 30 frames per second, I guess you could argue that a DVD may be 24 frames per second if you're looking to get sort of a film look. But I think I would still stay in 30 frames per second, probably medium field of view unless you're trying to get some really wide shots. Of course, that's not going to matter. I don't think it's going to really change your battery one way or the other to do wide field of view or to do narrow. But medium, you'll catch most of what you're trying to get. Now, one thing I want to do, for people who ask me these questions about using the GoPro as a travel cam, my best second advice, I've done a video like this before too, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself, those of you who are my viewers. The GoPro Hero3 is awesome for moving through spaces, like what we're doing right now. There's no zoom at all on this camera. You become the zoom. So right now I'm using this camera on a stick, and the stick is my zoom. Me personally, if I take it off the stick, which by the way, this is a cool way to have fun with your Hero3, is to use just a standard telescope and golf stick. And this one will telescope out to 14 feet. I've took a noodle and put it on the inside there, and I have a little microphone handle I've got the GoPro screwed into. Let me lay that aside. So I shoot a lot of videos that way, and it really works well. But right now I am the zoom. As I'm walking through this little garden, as we get close, that's because I'm getting actually physically closer. If you're going on a trip where you're going to be like on a boat and you're going to try to shoot whales off in the distance, you're going to be very disappointed with the GoPro Hero3. It shoots great video. Like right now there is a buzzard or something flying through the sky there. Do you see that thing? I'm sure it's just a tiny little dot perhaps on your in your field of view. If I had a traditional camcorder, like I usually use Canons, I use a Canon HFS-200, HFS-100. At work I use a Canon HFS-GTN, which is a fantastic camera, much more expensive than the Hero3. If I had that kind of camera with a really standard nice telephoto lens on it, I would have gotten that buzzard really nicely, or that whale from a boat, or that deer that's up on the side of a mountain, or ram or whatever that's climbing across rocks. So I just say that to advise to everyone, if I'm going on a trip, if I'm going to do some travel video, I'm going to take both. I'm going to take a high quality 1080p camcorder as I can get that has a telephoto lens so I can zoom in on things. And I'm going to take my little GoPro Hero3 because it really is like a little Swiss Army knife that fits right into your pocket. I mean, the thing I love about the Hero3 is how small it is, but how big video it shoots, and all the frame rates, the fields of view. You can't beat it for some of the things that it does, but it's not the do-all end-all of camcorders. There are some haters out there that do not like the GoPro Hero3. Look at my channel, you'll see I've shot a lot of awesome video with it. And if you want to do the least amount of editing, get the most amount of video, and the reason I say it takes up less battery is the GoPro Hero3, the higher frame rate you use, the hotter the battery gets, the more work the camera's having to do. So right now I'm shooting 30 frames per second And I have noticed that if you shoot the lower frame rates, you are going to get more video from your battery. Not a significant amount more. You could shoot 48 frames per second. I do that a lot, and you'll be just fine. However, if you're shooting 48 frames per second, you're probably going to have to edit. And this person, the person's name was Rowan, and Rowan or Rohan, you'll end up having to convert that. Probably if you're going to go to YouTube, you'll have to go from 48 frames per second down to 30. And since your question was, how quickly can I, and easily without a lot of editing, can I get good video? 1080p 30 and whatever field of view you like. So when you get your GoPro Hero 3, experiment with it and see what you like. See what frame rate you like, what field of view you like. I really tend to favor the medium field of view because it's still probably a 30 or 40% wider field of view than you get with most camcorders. But still it looks really nice, and you get a decent, fair representation of what the eye is going to see. If you're out in a big canyon or something, you might want to do that wide field of view. Let me give you a quick comparison of the three. Okay, so now I'm shooting in the wide field of view, and I still have the camera at arm's length. Here's how the garden looks in wide field of view. So you'll get the impression that you're probably about another 5 or 6, 7, 8 feet back from the subject that you're shooting. So if you want to get big panoramas, let's say you're going to the Grand Canyon, or you're going to some very broad landscape, you're going into Norway, the fjords, or whatever, then you might want to use your wide field of view. It does make everything look like it's far away, but you also get a really nice wide angle shot, which will, you're not going to miss anything much if you're shooting in the wide mode. Let me show you narrow now. And now I'm shooting in the narrow field of view. So let's look again at the flowers in the garden as I walk around. And you'll see much tighter field of view. Things typically look much more close. I'm walking the same distance away from this asparagus as I was a while ago with the medium and wide field. So this is what you're going to get in your narrow field of view. And if you're going to be doing close-ups on things, like these tomatoes growing down here or something, then I would go into the narrow field of view. And you're going to get sort of the experience or the look and feel of having a telephoto lens. So once again, these are the three fields of view you can expect. I don't think any one of them is any easier to edit. I think you're dealing mostly with frame rate and the fact that it's 1080p rather than 4K, 2K, 1440p. These are all sizes that you can shoot. So the GoPro Hero 3, that's the other thing I like about it, is how flexible the types of video you can shoot. 15 frames per second in 4K is pretty cool to be able to shoot. It's aggravating to edit. So is the 2.1. But anyway, still awesome video. Excuse me, 2.7 maybe is what it is. Forgive me. You're going to have fun. You're going to have fun playing with this. The least amount of editing though is going to be the 30 frames per second, and just play around with your field of view and see what you get and what you like. You'll find pretty soon that you find a mode that you prefer shooting in. However, I still do advise, if you're going to do some serious traveling, to take a standard camcorder along with you, one that does have a good zoom on it. That way you won't miss those far away things, and you'll still have that option, which you're not going to get with the Hero 3. Cheers. Hope you have some great video experiences out there in the world. Bye-bye.